3, 2, 1. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Living Color with Matt Woodward, episode 15 here on this Friday, June 19th, 2020, also known as Juneteenth, the day the last remaining slaves were freed in the United States, or across the United States, the day that they abolished slavery. And to be honest with you, it's kind of crazy that I didn't really know or had ever really heard of Juneteenth before. I feel like it was like, I feel like I've heard the phrase before, but I never was taught, the importance of the day, and I never was, taught the fact that it's not a national holiday, which is it's beyond embarrassing, really, at this point. I don't know how in the world that's not considered a national holiday, really, but it's it just strikes me, I don't know if that's a weird coincidence or if that's intentional up until this point, but I digress on that, and I'm happy to that we're finally able to recognize the importance of the day, and and I hope that, going forward, that it's going to be, made like a national holiday or a federal holiday, and I believe there's already some legislation in the works to make it like a national holiday or a federal holiday, whatever the phrase might be. But yeah, no, it's good to be here on this Friday afternoon here. It's kind of been like a tough last week, really. Just in general, I feel like it's been, for me personally, it's been like one of the tougher weeks mentally, I feel like, in a long time. And that's not to say like so much has happened in the last week that, it's just, added on to things and made things worse. It's just, I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like it's harder and harder right now to get a grip of what your thoughts are, and what your plans might be. And like, if you've watched from the start, how long have I been talking now about, just, always having a plan about what you're going to do now, what you're going to do later. And, even myself right now, I have absolutely no idea what the hell, what the hell I'm doing or saying or thinking or feeling. I don't know a damn thing right now. And, there's some sort of, I guess, like I don't know if it's a relief in a way that, like, that I'm able to sort of feel this way and in sort of a somewhat comfortable way and not be losing my shit. But at the same time, I do feel like I'm losing my shit in a way, because I just, every day I feel like we're learning new information and things are changing and everything is just fluid. And that's not just with the coronavirus, that's just every day there's something else. It's unbelievable, and just even the past few days, like the other day, I kind of briefly talked about Chris D'Elia being accused of sexual harassment and grooming underage girls and that for me was a massive, it was a shock. As I mentioned in that video, I never watched the show where Chris D'Elia was portraying, I believe, a sexual predator or something along those lines. I've never seen that show a second in my life, and I believe he was playing another sexual predator in like Workaholics or show like that. And once again, I've never seen that show either. But I knew Chris D'Elia. I've seen Chris D'Elia live. I went to the Follow the Leader tour in summer or fall of 2018 in Burlington, Vermont at the Flynn Theater. And I considered myself a Chris D'Elia fan. He has a unique style of comedy, and like and just to see that, like his rise and like how much success he was having just by kind of doing it his own way, and like I said, it's an inspiration for me, it was. And then you just see like a random allegation. You're like, okay, you hope it's not true, right? Like, that's all you can say. You just hope it's not true. And then there's the screenshots of the DMs. And then there's other girls who were underage at the time coming out with more screenshots of, even creepier DMs. Like, can we make out? And shit like that. And it's like, and then you go on Twitter today, today's Friday, like I said. And I log on Twitter and, now I'm seeing that Joey Diaz, he truly is one of my favorite comedians, and a massive inspiration for me. I love Uncle Joey, and but at the same time, I know, and one of the things it's like a dream guest for me is to have like Joey Diaz on Living Color, or go on the Church of What's Happening Now, and just to see like old clips of him appearing on the Joe Rogan Experience from a few years ago. And just, I don't know what to think anymore. I really don't. Like the clips that were coming out today about, with Joey and him, it's not something that I haven't seen before, or haven't heard before. But, I, in a way, it was almost just something that you just kind of heard and you almost kind of took as like a figure of speech or an exaggeration, it's something that wasn't true. But then, you think about it and it's, man, I'm trying to think of what to say, man, because it sucks. It fucking sucks, man. These are people that I look up to. These are people that I'm inspired by. And now what do you say? What happens, And one of the things with Joey is that, he talks about like that he was a different person then. He was on, a crazy cocaine addiction. He was going through it mentally, not having a mother anymore and just being on his own. But those aren't excuses for some of the behavior that, he even admits to, and, and he, like I said, he says that, he was a different person then and he's changed. Obviously, he has a wife and a young daughter, and, I don't know I don't know what's to come from this, like, are there going to be consequences, should there be, for something that long ago? But at the same time, if he, and like he said in the clip, he broke the girl. I mean, you don't know if he's joking, but he even said, "You think I'm fucking joking?" I broke her, and her along with like 20 others or something along those lines. It's tough, man. Where do you go? What do you do? You can't defend that shit. How can you? That I don't think Joey can defend that. He can't. He doesn't. He doesn't try to. But do we just do you just accept it like that as the past, and he's a changed man, and things are different, but I don't know. We're in a like the Me Too movement is still obviously prevalent and kicking, and I just think that everybody's story deserves to be heard, and that's the thing, and it's obviously a tough situation because you can't believe everybody, right? Because anybody could be lying, right? And you don't know what their motivation might be to lie. But when you have detailed experiences and multiple accusations and I don't know. You have to, like I said, you can't believe everybody, but you have to try to believe everybody, right? You have to try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. You have to, especially when it comes to sexual assault, and it's that's what I'm saying. It's I'm already kind of going through that, like, this is stuff that it doesn't affect you like personally, but it does in a way. It affects your mental, because you kind of put these people on a pedestal and you look up to them as an inspiration, something to aspire to, especially a guy like Joey Diaz's story, being a felon, going to prison, not really having anything, having a daughter with with his first wife or whatever, and going through that whole like ugly divorce and never speaking to that daughter again, and becoming really a changed man, like you see, someone that you like inspires you and like that you can put your trust and faith in, and then. But then, obviously, like you just go back and watch these old Joe Rogan Experience episodes, or anything where Joey's telling an old story, and half the time, you do see people say he's exaggerating, and he could be, but if there's even an ounce of truth to forcing a girl to give you a blowjob to get stage time at the Comedy Store or whatever the fuck the accusation or whatever people are, whatever it might not even be an accusation because no one accused him of it. He really kind of openly said that's what he was doing to girls. Oof, man. I don't know. Like I said, it's been a very tough week, and I don't know what to think or believe or feel anymore, and that sucks. But that is really where it's at. And like I said, like I don't know what to think or feel or believe, and that goes for even like the coronavirus right now. Everything is just changing by the day. It seems like, they're saying, people who are asymptomatic can't, pass it on to people at risk, but then, the World Health Organization backtracks and saying that it's like a misinterpretation of the quote or the statement that was given, and now you're seeing that Dr. Fauci is saying like there's just trying to make sure this thing's on here. He's saying that there's not really a chance that there's gonna be football this year. What do you think? Like, I don't know what to think, right? And how is there going to be football or any sports this year? There's so many people that just came out in the past couple of weeks, that tested positive for coronavirus. I saw I think it's the Maple Leafs captain. I'm not sure if it was John Tavares that tested positive. Then 23 Clemson football players, or up to 23 Clemson football players and 28 Clemson athletes tested positive for coronavirus. And then you have, 2 Buccaneers coaches testing positive. And so how in the world are they going to start sports back up in a month, And it's again, it's another weekly update. The MLB doesn't seem to be getting their shit together. It seems like the players are counter proposing with almost better offers every time to the owners, and the owners aren't budging, and they don't want to lose any amount of extra money at all, and that's understandable, but at the same time you're gonna lose money, dude. Do you want to lose the sport? Do you want to lose credibility for the sport, or do you just or what do you want to do, man? Do you want to not play baseball this year? Do you want to have, I don't know. You know, like, is there going to be a 48-game season? All the players aren't for that. And that's not even really one of the bigger sports topics. One of the bigger sports topics right now is the fact that is the NBA going to come back? You know, that's something that I hadn't really even considered, you know, that the NBA would serve as sort of a distraction for people, you know, in this time where it's, you know, it really is time to make a dramatic generational change. Systematic change, you know, throughout. You know, that goes for law enforcement. You know, that goes for I don't even, you know, I'm just trying to think of it just throughout, man. You know, there's so many, you just see, you know, how are they going to try to cancel student debt? They're going to try to do this. They're going to try to do that. You know, but that's not the root of it. Right now, it's like the NBA. You know, they had and I believe it was kind of helmed by like Kyrie Irving and Avery Bradley and a few other players. But there was a conference call, I believe it was earlier this week, with about 80 players. You know, talking about what their stance should be, and you know, LeBron James has come out saying, you know, we're going to try to play, you know, but, you know, I believe that was when he said that, or when he released that kind of statement, that was kind of before Kyrie and Avery Bradley and Dwight Howard and, you know, others kind of, you know, came out saying that, you know, basketball would just be a distraction at this point. There's no reason to playing, you know, and if you think about it, they're right. It is a distraction. Because you know what? Right now, all you see on news channels and across every TV channel, across media, what is it about? They're talking about protesting. They're talking about, you know, police reform or defunding police. You know, they're talking about the judicial system and, you know, like laws, how they target, you know, minorities and black people in general, yeah, especially, you know, when they end up, you know, using deadly force in a scenario where you see like Rashad Brooks, the man in Atlanta, the black man in Atlanta who was, I believe, intoxicated in a Wendy's drive-through, but he, you know, I think he like pulled over into a parking space, I believe, and then, you know, passed out in his car, had the cops called on him, and it was, I can't even remember what they were like taking him in custody for or what really happened, because, you know, now you're seeing the officer who shot him in the back, you know, that guy just got charged with felony murder. And there's so many fucking bozos out there. And, you know, I've talked about it before, and it sucks. And, you know, I've already kind of dealt with it just in general. You know, comments on the internet fucking suck. You know, like some comment sections are you know, they can be uplifting. You know, if someone writes, you know, that they're, you know, depressed or going through this or going through a lot and they don't know if they can take it anymore. Sometimes you can see the most inspirational shit in those comment sections that is amazing. They'll blow your mind, right? But then you look at the comment section, and I've never seen more people try to justify a man's murder in my life. There's way more people justifying the Rashad Brooks murder than the George Floyd murder. Because you really can't justify the George Floyd murder in any way. And not to say you could justify the Rashad Brooks murder. Because that's the thing. This fucking guy, I mean, obviously the video shows him resisting arrest. But the video, and that's the thing. You don't see a full, like, conclusive, you don't see the full video of everything, right? You just see a 5-minute video of him, like, just talking with the officer and just being like, I'll walk home if you need me. I'll walk. That's what he's saying. And then all of a sudden you see like the other clip where they're wrestling around on the ground and he takes his taser, you know, and even still the dude was was intoxicated, you know, and he did turn and fire the taser, but the taser's not a deadly weapon. And I understand that the police were releasing shit saying that like it would immobilize the officer and, you know, wouldn't leave them with the ability to respond or, you know, make the arrest. But it's like, the dude is running away, like, with no weapon. You have his car right there. You have his license. You have all of his info. You can't just call for more backup and then just like football tackle the fucking dude. You gotta just shoot him in the back. And then they kicked him when he was down, I believe, and said, I got him. Like, no wonder that dude's facing felony murder. And you just see these fucking idiots that just try to justify this shit. And it's disgusting. It makes me sick. And it makes me just not even want to be on social media, really, when you see shit like that. Because it's always just going to happen. And, like, how are you ever going to convince those fucking people that, you know, that everybody's equal and the same, or everyone should be, you know? Because it seems like those people will never, ever think that way. They'll never view it that way, you know? And it's disheartening, man, because how the fuck can you view anything like... I just don't see how you can watch somebody get murdered and then try to come up with an excuse as to how you can justify that. Unless that dude literally pulls out a gun and shoots at the cops or anything, or I just don't know how you can justify that. You just see so many videos on Twitter of like some crazy white dude, you know, run. I saw there's a famous Twitter video, some naked psychotic white guy chasing cops. Literally, I don't know if it was like a knife or machete. He had just killed people. And he's just chasing this cop around. And this cop's like is like running away from him, and like running in circles away from him. And then the guy ends up strangling like a churchgoer, you know. But that guy gets, you know, taken into custody after he murdered people. But this, you know, Rayshard Brooks or Breonna Taylor or George Floyd get murdered for literally nothing. Like Breonna Taylor, that whole case is disgusting, man. And those cops are still walking around, man. You gotta be shitting me. There's just no way how's that happening, man? And how are people cool with that? Yeah. Nah, like I said, I don't know what to think or feel or do anymore. Yeah. Oh, is that... We got George Forbes in the building out here. Shout out to my brother George out here. I see him. I got the live stream going here. He says cops aren't supposed to kill guilty people either. Yeah, exactly, man. You can't just there's no better way. You can't just take them into custody. You can't just... I don't understand. I just do not understand how people can try to justify any of this. There's no justifying it. So, you know, I'm just trying to think, like, so when you think of the NBA, I don't think it can come back, you know, because the way they're talking about having this schedule, they're going to have 5 or 6 games a day. That's all you're going to see on TV, you know, and that shit doesn't matter to anybody. I mean, you see that now more than ever. And, you know, obviously it'll hurt, you know, somebody like LeBron's legacy, because this might have been his best chance to win with the Lakers, you know, but that shit doesn't mean jack, man. And, you know, you kind of see people like, well, is Kyrie going to commit? What's Kyrie going to do? Like, is he going to just quit basketball and just go full-time, you know, go into social justice and try to be like a leader of the community? But, you know, I think the fact that he's even, you know, stepping up like this in a way, just trying to, you know, kind of bring that like attention to it, be like, guys, we don't need to play basketball the rest this playoff. We don't need to do that, because this, you know, it's just going to take away from what we're trying to do. But then you also see like the counterpoint to that, like, well, they could just wear like the Black Lives Matter shirts or like I Can't Breathe shirts or all that. But, you know, at a certain point, I feel like that kind of message only goes so far, because that, you know, people are going to see or, you know, interpret what they want to, you know, especially if it's not like in their face like that, you know, they can just turn it off or, you know, change the channel, you know. But when there's nothing else going on but just protesting and, you know, trying to change the system, you know, upend it completely, you know, there really isn't a reason to have a distraction like the NBA. You know, there's no point to it anymore. At least this season, you know. And I think that kind of goes for almost all sports, really. You know, obviously the NBA, it's a majority of black players, but, That's not to say other leagues don't have minority players and that they couldn't take a stand themselves. And, I still think it would be effective, obviously, if they did it in the NBA or if they did it in the MLB or any league like that. And you even saw Mark Cuban. He said, you know what, if Mavericks players are going to kneel, I'm going to join them in kneeling during the national anthem. And if you see like an owner like Mark Cuban, who could potentially be a presidential candidate down the line, taking a knee during the national anthem, especially when the bozo in office is saying the shit he's saying, like, oh, I won't watch football if they're gonna be taking those knees and all that shit. And he's such, I just can't take it. I can't take it anymore. Yeah, it's just like, he's just almost like just talking the talk at this point. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I saw he like tweeted something about, agitators and protesters and looters and lowlifes and all that for showing up to the Tulsa rally tomorrow, which was supposed to be today, which is, like I said at the start of the show, is Juneteenth, June 19th, which was the day that we emancipated the slaves, ended slavery in the United States. This fucking guy was going to hold his first rally on June 19th, and that's a coincidence to people? I mean, it is beyond embarrassing. And then he's saying that, anyone who shows up to the rally will be treated much differently than in cities like, New York and Minneapolis and Seattle. And it's like, so are you threatening your own people? And you're a leader of the free world? A leader. This dude couldn't lead a fucking paper bag, man. He's the biggest clown in the world. You know how I know he's a clown? Dude, you tell me that's a spray tan for one. That's a 70-plus-year-old man wearing like a fucking wig too or whatever he has. That dude's a buffoon. And I'm not going to lie, man. It's hard to support. I can't. There's just, what can you support? What can you support? Economy, man? Are you joking? The fucking economy? That's more important than dividing the entire country like he does every day online or in his speeches and all that. I do hope people show up in droves in Tulsa tomorrow. I really do. I hope they fucking swamp that motherfucker. I really do. Because I saw the Secret Service try to, they put in like a curfew for Tulsa. I believe it was yesterday, which would be like Thursday, June 18th. And then they lifted it today. And I'm not really sure why they lifted it. I'm not really sure what the purpose of that, because I believe the purpose of the curfew is to not have crowds stay out late or, and not have large crowds gather, past a certain time. So now it's almost kind of like they're almost like accepting more, come on, come one, come all. You guys all want to come? Let's do this. It's almost like what they're looking for, And at a certain point, like I've said in the previous episodes, I don't know what to do and what are we going to do in November, man? Is it Joe Biden? It's going to have to be right now, right? But that dude literally cannot speak. There's a YouTube ad where he's like, hello, my fellow Americans, I'm coming forward to you. Like, he literally couldn't say words on a teleprompter. 5 to 10 seconds into an ad on a teleprompter. You can literally watch him go like this. And he can't even say, I'm coming to deliver an important message off the top of his head. Not even off the top of his head, on a prompter. He couldn't even read it straight. That dude is supposed to lead us through all of this. That dude didn't even know the name of the coronavirus in March. So, I have seen people are like kind of begging for somebody to run independently, and I'm all for it. I don't know. I don't believe a guy like Bernie Sanders could run independently right now, or even get back into the race. I don't believe that's even an option because I believe, I think he officially dropped out earlier this year, but I think there was a whole thing where he was trying to get to the Democratic National Convention, and I'm not really sure what the purpose of all that was, but, I've also seen people calling for The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, to run eventually one day. And I mean, what are we doing, guys? Right? Like, it's a movie star. Yeah, he delivered a tremendous 13-minute video, and he's a great follow on social media, and he's inspirational as fuck, and he came from literally nothing, came from $7 in his pocket. That's why his company is called $7 Production. Has $7 in his company to now the biggest movie star on the planet by, probably by far. And the guy has almost 140 million Instagram followers. 140 million. There's like 340 million people in the United States alone. So he almost has damn near half the country on his Instagram. I mean, obviously that's spread out throughout the world, blah, blah, blah. But, you don't know his policies and this and that. But, anything right now. We need anything, man. Anything. Because right now it is looking like guaranteed 4 more years of this fucking bozo. And honestly, man, we can't do it. There's, it's so crazy how people are so misguided with everything. I feel like they're so jaded and they just want to think that, like, they want to look through everything through like rose-petal glasses, and then you see like the DACA decision was upheld in the Supreme Court where they denied that, Trump's administration could deport 700,000 dreamers or I guess children of illegal immigrants who were born in the United States at the time. They couldn't just be deported. And it's like the fact that he even wanted to deport 700,000 people. 700,000 people. I mean, that's not a small number, but that's not a huge number by any stretch, right? And especially people who have been living here their whole lives, this is all they've known. What is the plan beyond that? So you're going to deport them. What is your plan after that? Was there ever a plan? Like, why would you even suggest doing shit like that? And then that's not even talk about literally the millions of other sectors he's doing terrible shit in. Talk about like the national parks, the environment, all the restrictions and, emissions standards that he's cut, and it is insane. How are we going to sustain another 4 years of this guy? Can you? I don't know. I don't believe so. No chance. That's not to say the fucking world's going to end, but that's to say that, if we go another 4 years with this bozo making the decisions he's already made, continuing to make those decisions that can have ramifications for years to come, that's not to say that we wouldn't be too far deep where it's, you won't be able to reverse the effects of climate change or global warming or any of it, And then what? Then we're left with a good economy, right? Oh, at least the jobs are great. Job numbers are high. Yeah, dude, that matters a lot, man, right now. Like, how many people are still unemployed, right? Is there a solution to get those jobs back? Doesn't seem like there's a solution for really anything. And that seems like nobody has a solution for... I feel like nobody has a solution for anything. I don't have a solution for anything. I don't even know what I'm thinking, saying, feeling, or doing anymore. I really don't. Like I said, that's why I said in the beginning of the show, I don't know. This has been a crazy week. I literally just don't know what to feel or think. I'm just moving almost at this point, right? I'm just going. And it doesn't seem to be getting any better, man. That sucks, man. And just, but I feel like this is supposed to be like an uncomfortable time, though, right? For a lot of people. And I feel like it's uncomfortable for me because I just don't know what's next, what's to happen, what's to come. Where we all are headed from here. What I want to do from here, where I want to be, where I want to go. How long I'm trying to do this in general. There's a lot. And yeah, this is one of the crazier times that I think we've all been through, really. And, you need someone to kind of look to for this, right? And it just seems like everywhere you look, just your inspirations are being zapped from you, Whether it's through, just, people that you look up to being me too'd or, accused of this or that. And it's like, what are you supposed to do then? I don't know. I feel like everybody wants to be right, but, I don't know, at what cost, right? Yeah. There's a bunch that I was trying to get to, but I did kind of just want to go off the top of my head a little bit today, because I usually just have, it all written down and kind of like a rundown form, but I kind of like where I'm just going off the top of my head a little bit better, just because it's more like free flowing really at this point. It just makes things better, because it kind of makes, when I have to like kind of look down and think of what I'm, about to talk about next, it's like a block almost, I'm just trying to make sure everything's still going here with this. And, yeah, there's certain things that, I gotta try to do to, make things easier, better for me, like, even I think I mentioned before, like, exercising and running and hiking around is, wow, I got the hiccups, huh? It's a great way to really clear your mind and, refocus yourself in your thoughts and what you want to do, and, I've really got to get back to that. I might try to go for a run after this show, to be honest with you, because I haven't really done it too much this week, and it's kind of been a problem, really. And yeah, I love Colorado, man. I do. But, I'd be a fool to think that, things are going great for me out here. I'm not doing bad. I'm really not. I'm not struggling to afford where I'm living, and I have a job that I go to, full time. Thank goodness, and it's on a unique schedule where I'm doing 4 10-hour days and have 3 full days off and still work full time, and I'm still employed with Red Rocks, but obviously there's still no shows in the works or in the future right now, it looks like, but I do love Colorado, and I feel fortunate, like I've said before, I feel fortunate to be in the situation I'm in, and if I wasn't where I'm at now, I wouldn't know what to do, really. I really wouldn't. And so that's why it's tough. Like, that's why it's tough. Like, I don't know, like what to, how to, how to write how I'm feeling. Not even write, like literally write down, but also how to right the ship. Like how to fix it. I guess it's tough. It's been a struggle, man. But like I said, there's definitely certain things that you can do to, get back on track. Like working out, like I said, that's something I need to really get back into, because I'm still like skinny, and I don't mind being skinny, but I want to be, I need to get back to like doing my push-ups again, and get back to doing like curls and just lifting again. I want to build muscle again, and because not only does it feel good to work out and relieves a lot of stress and anxiety or whatever, but, it helps bring back your confidence, and that's something I feel like I've lost, not only since the start of quarantine, but almost, not since I moved out here, because I was losing my confidence really before I moved out here, but, I feel like I've lost my confidence in a way, with just trying to, talk to people or girls, really, like, I haven't, like, I think I mentioned it before, but I've been single since probably like 2012 or 2013 now, and obviously that's a long time, and hasn't been easy at all, and so I think just like when you do stuff like working out or exercising or running or hiking, it just brings back your confidence a little bit, and just enough where it can kind of get you back on track, get you back on the right path, and because that's something I feel like I've just kind of lost my path a little bit. I've lost my way. I finally wrote down in my journal last night, I think that was the first time I wrote down in the month of June, really. And that just kind of shows, where I've been at lately, because I was writing down, I kind of mentioned, I think, on one of the earlier episodes of this show that, I bought that notebook for like $1 at Walmart, and a pack of pens for like $1, and I was writing every day, just, and it was great. I was getting my thoughts together, thinking how I'm feeling and getting shit down. And now it's like, like I lost my path. And now, once I started writing down again last night, I was like, I remembered how good it felt to, organize my thoughts and see how I feel and, visualize it really, So that's something I'm going to continue to try to work on, and I'm going to continue to try to get out more. But yeah, it's just so much shit that I got to do. And I feel like I have on my plate that I just got to get to that I haven't yet. And, and that's stuff that, like that can weigh you down and bring you down that doesn't need to. Like I have to get my tires fixed. I got to get whole new tires. I got to register my car and get like my license and all like this and that. And, my license has been expired for a while. I haven't had a license, so I haven't been able to buy like alcohol or weed or anything, or, and it sucks, right? So, there's just like a bunch of things where I need to just get it off my chest, get it off my plate, cross it off of my to-do list, and then just use that extra time where I could be doing a show, doing another episode or just getting out and exercising more. And that's exactly what I'm going to try to do. I'm actually going to try to go do that hopefully right now. I might try to go for a run here. Because I don't think I've been for a run yet since I've been living out in Morrison here, or at least, Colorado. And, I'm going to just try to get out around the town. And because there's a few runs you could do. I always just see people walking around sunset, and running around sunset and when the sun goes down. And it's like, I need to finally do that, and so I'm going to try to do that now. But, yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling and thinking. I'm happy I kind of did this and got some things off my chest and how I was thinking. Because, yeah, like I said, this has kind of been a rough week for me, really. I haven't been sleeping well. I haven't been eating well. Haven't been thinking well. Haven't been doing anything well. And, I need to just right the ship, and I need to just get back on the right track. And that's, what I'm going to hopefully try to do this weekend, and hopefully what I'm going to try to do as soon as I finish this show right now. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching wherever you might be. Thank you out there for watching and listening out there on the YouTube. I appreciate you. Like I don't know if you noticed, but I'm doing this live on YouTube as well as recording this. I'm just trying to give multiple views of it, multiple angles of doing the show while getting as many views as I can. But yeah, I thank you guys. I appreciate you watching and listening wherever you might be. I'm going to try to go live again this weekend, hopefully for another living room session, maybe either tomorrow night, Saturday night, or Sunday night. But this has been Living Color with Matt Woodward, episode 15. Like I said, I appreciate it. Appreciate you wherever you might be for listening, watching, and following along. Have a great weekend, everybody. I will see you again soon. For Living Color, this has been Matt Woodward signing off. Peace. Peace out, everybody. Catch you later. Peace.
Don't stop.